Hello, welcome to our next episode of our Dream to Rise podcast. And we have a special guest with us, and she's a writer, an entrepreneur. She hosts a show on Verse called Crazy Weird News. I don't know how weird the news are. And she is an author and ghostwriter. He has written the upcoming book Sacred Spaces and the ebook Embracing Your 5%, The Path to Personal Ascension. She believes that everything that has happened has brought her closer to her purpose. Without further ado, let us welcome Renea Linsom. Welcome, Renea.
Thank you so much for having me. Hello, hello.
Uh-huh. Hello. Welcome to our Dream to Rise podcast. And I am really excited to really listen or to hear your story. And I'm sure the listeners are also excited. So let us start. How can you tell us something about yourself, your story? How were you able to navigate your life, overcome all your challenges? I'm sure we are not exempted from traumas. We all have gone through on our traumas in some way or the other. It may be in childhood, uh, and or at present, but then how were you able to rise up, evolve, and now doing what you want to do, impacting people? Okay.
I read that those first 7 years of your life can kind of set the tone for the rest of your life. And so growing up, I'm an only child, but I I often found that it was easier for me to try to be like other people instead of being myself because it seemed like whenever I would put myself out there, I would get burned. I wanted desperately to be like my other cousins that seemed like they were the most popular, the most beautiful. They could just walk into a room and you'd be like, "Oh, who is that?" I wanted to be like them. I didn't want to be Renee.
Hmm.
I was a short kid, a fat kid with big glasses, and I was like, and my family was, well, they still are, still very, very beautiful, very intelligent. But I was like, man, I want to be like that, but I was not. I was Renee. And I hid behind my mother. I hid behind just being at home because I just was like, I can't really embrace me because people will be like, "Oh, well, she's ugly. She's people can really say some very hurtful things when you're growing up. And sometimes if you're not careful, you can still hear them even in your adult life, even in your teenage life, you can still hear it.
Mhm.
And for me, I found it easier to just put myself away and not, because I didn't want to hear those words that I had heard so many times.
Hmm.
But I believe that everyone has a turning point. And the awesome thing is that everybody gets there. Yours may come before mine, but we still get there.
Oh, yes.
And my turning point was just one day, just looking at myself in the mirror and just being like, you know what? Who told you, Renee, that you're ugly? Who told you that you have to look a certain way? Who told you that? And I realized that a lot of times hurt people try to hurt people. People that say different things to you just to hurt you, it really has no basis in reality because 9 times out of 10, it's not even true. They
Mhm.
see something in you that they don't
No,
like and that is shining back on their insecurities.
exactly.
So,
And that's what they're lacking. That's their lack. See?
exactly. But
Oh,
I didn't know that growing up. I started to learn that as I got older. I was already an adult when I finally knew that, and I was deep in my adulthood. So,
like at
you
what
know,
age? Like at what age?
it got better in my 20s. So I think about 20, about 24. I think that's when it really got a lot better for me. I started being like, all right,
So that
okay,
was your turning point. That was the time when you made the shift.
yes.
Okay.
And
Mm-hmm.
guess what? I'm still shifting, but it's that turning point helped me to start believing in me. I was at such a wonderful place in my life because I was about to graduate from school. I was about to embrace real life. And now, even though now I'm in my 30s, my life is still shifting. But one thing about me is I'm grateful to just be me. I'm grateful to when I walk into a room, I don't have to be like, oh, well, she's prettier than me. They're prettier than me. No, I get in there and I say, well, you're gonna see me. And I'm fine with that.
Uh-huh.
And your turning point, it has to come for you. You can't allow anyone to tell you, well, you're supposed to already be there. Everything is perfect. Everything is perfect just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
But that took time for me to get there. It took time, but
So,
that was one of the best times
oh,
I
good.
had.
But what were your tools or strategies that you used for you to get to that situation we're in? Enough is enough. I am me and I love myself. What did you do?
What I had to do, what I had to do was I had hit my head enough times with the things that people said to me, and I knew there had to be an opposite. I had to be able to look at myself in the mirror and really be like, what do I see? What is Renee's reflection? Not what people are saying about me through their eyes, but I had to say, what does Renee see about Renee?
So that's
Um,
the affirmation, looking at yourself at the mirror.
and the funny part is I didn't even know that it was even called that. That's the crazy part. Didn't even know that it was called that. But it has to be an awakening in you to be like, okay. And then I started. I was single, I think, at the time, and I was so happy just being single, and I found that there was a confidence that I didn't even know that I had, that I was just like, ugh. I was like, okay, all right. I was walking around with my head up, and I was at such a wonderful place in my life because so many opportunities I knew were going to happen because I was in college. I was about to graduate from college. I was about to move out of my home state. I was bubbling with so much excitement that I was like, I didn't see anything bad. For the first time, I looked at me and actually saw me.
Yeah.
And that was freeing,
And
incredibly freeing.
that's the having a growth mindset. And then that boosts your confidence, no? If you value yourself, then it boosts your confidence. And when you mention also about the posture, stand erect, head high, chin up, and that's how you see yourself, your self-worth. And that adds up to your confidence.
Absolutely, it does.
Uh,
Because, if you really see yourself just accepting who you are, period, oh my gosh. And I realized that love has to start within. I
Mhm.
can't give anybody what I don't have.
Exactly.
I can't give you. It's kind of like money. If I don't have any money, I can't give it to you.
Uh-huh.
But if I don't have any self-worth, then how am I supposed to love you the way you need to be loved, or just loving, period? Can't give you what I don't have. So it's it was part of my journey, but then I'm at such a place because of that day, because of from that time till now, and some 10 plus years have changed. And it's like I look at myself even now, and I wake up in the morning and I might be scruffy first thing in the morning, my hair's up, and I'm like, whoo. And I look at myself and I say, hello, gorgeous, how are you today?
Wow, see?
And I'm like, how are you? And I'm like, woo. And I'm like, and I see those cheeks of mine rise up, and I'm like, how are you doing? You look good. Even if I'm wearing sweatpants, I'm like, you're looking good today.
Good.
And you keep your head up. I'm too young to have two chins. So, but you keep your head up. You truly see you. And the me that I am today, I am I can be really, really deep one minute, and sometimes I can be really, really funny the next. But that's me. That's who I am. When I see somebody, I'm like, "Hi." I smile at them, even if I don't say anything. I smile. I love to smile.
Mhm.
That's that's me. That's
Good.
how I show people. That's
And
how I show me, really.
and are you still single or are you married?
Oh, I'm married now.
Oh, you're
Um,
married, oh, see?
I
And you
am.
have children?
Not yet.
Not
Not
yet.
yet.
Okay, in the
Not yet.
process.
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
pipeline. And I'm glad that you found the best person that would be aligned to your values, who loves you for what you are, for who you are, I mean, and loving you unconditionally. And that's very important. And see,
It
you're
is
now you're both sharing that love for each other. That's awesome. Awesome.
beautiful because it's like we add to each other, and I don't have anything to that I have to impress. I can just be who I am, and that's impressive,
Oh,
and
yes.
that's a blessing because you just are. You just get to be you, and
You.
there's no mask. There's no um walking on eggshells. I don't believe if you have to walk on eggshells to be around somebody, then you're not really being who you are. They are clamping who
Mhm.
you are, and we all need to be able to breathe.
Yes.
Breath is so important.
Yes, yes. And I'm amazed by the process you've gone through, the change. And as you mentioned, it's not an overnight result. No, I mean change. It is a process. It's a long process, and it takes perseverance, hard work, commitment. And what you did was you took that action wherein that growth mindset, that fixed mindset became the growth mindset wherein I love myself and I believe in myself. And now, what are you doing? As I introduce you, you're now an author, right?
I am. And
Uh-huh.
um those steps led me to doing probably the biggest thing that I've ever done. I am a writer. I'm also an author. I'm waiting for my book about my life to be published, so that's going to be published soon. I have co-authored um, two books, and then my husband and I have written a book called Sacred Spaces that you were talking about. So that's going to be also coming out soon. And I also have the ebook about embracing your 5%. I did that ebook yeah, a few not too long ago.
So the
But
sacred space, it's a partnership with your husband. You wrote this one.
yes.
Ah,
Yeah.
so
So that,
is it about your life story with him, your love
it's
story?
the sacred spaces is actually how we kind of do how everywhere that we go, the different spaces that we have that are sacred in our relationship. So how we continue to have that spark, how we just continue to build on our marriage, but by using those sacred spaces, by just every place to us is a transformative place for us because we use that to build it. That's really what the whole book is about. It's just building on your relationship. And we're still young, we're still really young in our marriage, but I'm grateful that one of the things that we have is that sacredness of being like, okay, all right, certain things can come into our relationship, but then some things cannot. So it is, and there also is scriptures after every chapter that you can kind of go into because that's our foundation, is our faith. So yeah, that's a huge sacredness for us.
Ah, that's what I was about to ask you. What is the main uh, element in this sacred space? And that is your relationship with God. Yes.
Yes, our faith is huge
Yes.
because it's not just
When
us.
you, when you, your relationship upward, it's like a cross, right? You build,
It is.
when your love for God transmits to your love, to the love for others. And then that's it. And that it starts also with your relationship with your husband.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
very
right.
nice, very nice. So, uh, do you believe in manifestations?
I'll answer it like this. Um, God created everything. This is my personal belief that God created everything. So when God created it, He already manifested it with His word. There's no need for me to manifest. I just need to raise my vibration to be at that same mindset where God is. So I don't necessarily believe in the manifestation because it's already here. I just need to believe
Yeah.
that what is here is for me
Yes,
and and operate in that way. So yeah.
that's good. That's good. So, sharing it, explain it's just like me. I I started manifesting me sending my son to school, even though I didn't have the money, because I know God was with me during that time. And I believe that I can do it because He's behind me, overseeing me. So He did everything.
Okay.
Imagine, after 7 years, hoping to be promoted, it was during that time I got promoted. And a lot of people who connected with me gave me advices to downsize, to apply for grants and scholarship, and it helped me sustain my son to finish college. For me, that's manifestation because I didn't know where to go to get that money, but I pursued creating my dream for my son because I know and I believe that I'll be able to manifest my dream because God was with me. And up to now, God is with me.
Right. And
Mm.
you know what you want, you know what you deserve, and you go after it.
Yes, you take
That's the
action.
biggest thing is because a lot of times we can sit on things and be like, okay, all right, this is what I want.
Mhm.
And I used to hear some women say like yeah, I want a relationship, but they stayed at home all the time. And I was like, well, he's not gonna break into your house. He's
Yes.
not going to break in. And if he breaks in, do you really want that man? But he's not going to break in. You have to go outside of your
Yes,
house.
socialize, socialize. And, even at church, you'll be able to meet someone there. See?
Exactly. I
So
mean, so
take
I'm like, hey, like, how's that supposed to work? You gonna stay in the house? Hey, he's not breaking in.
so you have to take that uncomfortable action, right? For you
Yeah.
for that change to happen. Oh, I agree. So what are your goals for the next 12 months?
My goal is to one, to keep reading. I have been reading a book, ooh, wait, at least one every month, and I'm reading some short stories right now. And I'm also reading The Mastery of Love, which is a very, very good book so far.
Mhm.
But I want to keep reading. I want to, but for my business, it's for my business to keep growing, to have people that need a writer, for them to be like, hey, Renee, I want you to write for me. Okay. So for my business to keep growing, my goal for the next year is to keep growing. That's what's important to me. Um, and to keep the legacy alive. Not just mine, but other people, and helping them with their legacies, and me just kind of going forth with my own. So yeah, growth is huge. And yeah, I think that's probably the one that kind of puts everything all together, is just
Yes.
growth. I don't want to be
So
stagnant.
when did you
I want to
start
grow.
your business? What's the name of your business?
It is called Freedom Airs.
Freedom Air.
And yeah, Airs,
A
Heirs.
oh,
Yeah, Freedom Airs.
uh-huh. And
I think
then
that was the name that just called out to me.
uh-huh. And then how long has this business been going?
This business has been going for about 2 years, about 2 years. So I'm still new. I am still
Okay.
very, very new.
Yes, especially the first 3 years, it's kind of hard, no? Because, and what do you do to keep growing? Because you want to keep growing in terms of your business. What are your action steps that you want, the goals that you want to make your business grow?
To
Grow.
make my business good, I believe it goes hand in hand with me and my growth, because a business can only go as far as its owner. So for me, it is making sure that I am going where I need to go, that I am not sabotaging myself,
Mhm,
that when I have an idea, I go forth and do it.
mhm,
I just believe that my business, if I am hurt and I have not dealt with those other alienating thoughts, then my business is going to fail. Is going to fail if I am not well.
mhm,
So if I am well, then I can attract other people that are well, who want to do business with me, and to keep and putting myself out there in front of those people. So I just need to make sure that I keep the self-care, keep the development going, because it's only going to help me as a writer. It's only going to help me as a businesswoman. So
mhm.
yeah. I
So
think
you're
I think everything kind of correlates. Everything kind of comes
yes,
right back to you.
yes. And but it all boils down to yourself.
Exactly.
Uh-huh. Because if you don't take care of yourself, if you keep on thinking the thoughts, the negative thoughts that's inside your mind, then you won't be able to move forward. And that's great. So is there any simple advice you'd like to share to our listeners?
Or whatever it is that you want to do in life, jump in and do it. there are a lot of times you can spend time thinking, or sometimes with me, I used to overthink. Sometimes I had to catch myself from
Mhm.
overthinking. Get in there and do it. It is important for you. And if you start to doubt yourself, like, well, no one's gonna read it, no one's gonna see it. People will, but you have to put it out there. You could be the best thing since peanut butter and jelly, but no one's going to know if you don't put yourself out there.
Exactly.
Don't be afraid to put yourself out there because you have a home. There are people that are needing you to tell your story. But
Exactly.
if you don't ever tell it, then no, then we can't be blessed.
Mhm.
And what you have to say is going to help not only me, but it's going to help so many other people. So I want to see you at the top, not looking from the bottom to the top. I want to see you at the top. So
I
get in
love
there.
that. I love that. That's the main reason why I created my Dream to Rise Inner Circle. I have a mastermind group. My main objective is to for my members to rise and shine, move to the next level. And then I just want to watch them grow and be the successful entrepreneur they could be, because I know they have that gift which they could share to all. And that light should be shared to all. Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh. Well, how can our listeners get in touch with you? Do you have a website?
I do, and I did put I gave you my link tree too. But if you want to email me, if you want to feel free to email me. It is at into the sunshine FRM from the rain at gmail.com. So into the sunshine from FRM, the rain at gmail.com. So that's my email. Feel
Yeah.
free to email me and let's talk. But put at least put where you saw me from, so I can be like, okay, all right, because I get emails and I'm like, okay, I need to know
Mhm.
how you saw me, so I can know, so we
Yes.
can talk.
Yes. Now, mention the Dream to Rise podcast. You saw Renee here at the podcast, Dream to Rise podcast. Okay.
Yes,
And thank you so much, Renee, for this,
thank you,
for your time to share your story. And I wish you all the best.
thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. For our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in, and watch out for our next episode here at the Dream to Rise podcast. Thank you. Bye bye.